Hello, I'm Joe. Welcome to our vegetables, fruit and herbs.
Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Joe's Allotment channel. So what we're doing today is we're going to tidy up the tomato plants. Pruning is for mainly sort of 4 reasons really why you prune. One is to keep them tidy and stop them sort of becoming really shrubby and too heavy for the plant. 2 is to remove growth that's too near the base of the plant. Because if it's right near the base of the plant, it can get it's touching the soil, or it gets splashed back from the soil. It can get diseases like early blight and other diseases that affect tomatoes. Another reason is to improve the air circulation. So if you thin it out a bit, the air can get around the plant a lot easier. Also the light can penetrate into the plant a lot easier as well. So when you're ripening the tomatoes, that's important. We haven't got a scientific method of doing it ourselves. It's the way we've always done it, and it seems to work for us. We mainly take off sort of stems near the base of the plant up to the first flowers. So we'll take off sort of some of the mainly leaves, and that just sort of thins it out a bit and improves it. So there's 2 different types of tomato. There's sort of vine type tomato, the intermediate tomato, and that can carry on growing. If you keep supporting it, it'll just carry on growing upwards and upwards. And then you've got the sort of determinate ones, which are like the bushy ones, and they only get to a certain size anyway. So we don't really prune a lot for these ones because they won't get that tall. But these ones will carry on growing and growing and growing. I mean, I've seen ones that have got to sort of 5-6 foot before on some people's plots, and they will carry on producing tomatoes as they grow up. I mean, these ones are right at the top of the plant already. So yeah, so we basically prune for those reasons, 4 main reasons. So we'll show you what we do now. What we do is we take off the yellowing leaves. An example there, die showing. So they're sort of they'll come off. And I think they mainly go yellow if they haven't got a lot of light. So that's another reason to sort of prune them, to let the light in, I think. So yeah, I mean, we remove the ones at the base of the plant because they're too near the ground. So like that stem there, take that off, too near the base of the ground. But what I'll do as well, I won't actually, some of these ones we're cutting off, we can actually, I'll show you later, but we keep some of the stems, put them in water, and we can produce new plants from those as well. So they don't all go to waste. So what I'll do is I'll trim them up a bit, put them in water, and they should root in sort of 7 to 10 days. Keep them in a sort of dark position to start with, not too much light, otherwise they go completely wilted. Keep them on a sort of windowsill. Once they've got a good root system, I'll pot them up, and we'll get a later tomato crop from those hopefully. So so you are cutting to sort of improve the yield, but by cutting them and producing new plants, you get another yield anyway from the plants that you produce from the stems.
Right, so that needs tying up, so we have to do that.
So that needs tying up, yeah. But we are getting some tomatoes on them already. Little bunches of tomatoes forming there. Look quite good. So yeah, anything near the base comes off. Anything that's damaged or diseased or yellowing, take those off. Because apparently when you're watering tomatoes, if they get splashed at the bottom, that can produce diseases as well. So that's another one I'll probably trim up and keep there. So that's sort of the general idea. And that's how we've sort of done it for years. It might not be the most scientific method, but it works. And we always get a good tomato crop. So I don't think there's a really a wrong way of doing it. There's probably a more scientific method of doing it, but yeah, what works is good. And the peppers are starting to produce some peppers as well in here, which is good. I'm seeing a couple of peppers forming. There's a nice little pepper there coming through. Yeah, so it's looking quite good in here really. So that's what we've got to do. We've finish these ones off, and then we'll got to do the greenhouse down the allotment as well. Get those pruned as well. I need to give this a good watering as well tonight. It's very, very dry. It's been quite a hot day again today, so I'll give it a feed. Once we've pruned them, I'll give them some comfrey feed and a good watering as well. So I hope that's helpful to some people. Okay, so just to recap, what we've done, we've tidied them up a bit basically. Probably this one's a good example over here. It's all off the ground now. You can see the stem on the ground, so you shouldn't get any diseases penetrating from the bottom leaves upwards. So it's an ongoing job really. We sort of do this every week really throughout the summer. I know a lot of advice is to cut stems off, but we don't like to cut the tomatoes off basically. We like to get as many tomatoes as we can. For example, there's a little sort of stem coming out here. It's got a lovely little bunch of tomatoes on it, so sort of reticent to chop off stems all over the place. But we have kept quite a few here. So I've got these in a jar. So I've got these in a jar, so hopefully some of these will root, and we'll get some more plants out of these as well. So yeah, so that's the general idea. So it's basically to allow the air to circulate, keep them off the ground, let the sun penetrate the plant as well, and not let them get too bushy or shrubby or sort of out of control basically. So that's sort of the way we do it. Hope that's been useful to everybody. So we've got a bucket full there already, so it can go in the compost. So yeah, so hopefully that's been useful to you. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, or subscribe at the bottom here if you'd like to follow our videos on a weekly basis. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. Happy gardening everybody.